Yes, this is true. I'm saying goodbye to Dreamy. We've been having issues with my little Honda Dream, aka Dreamy. If you don't know, I'm traveling around Thailand on a 27-year-old, made in Japan, old retro Honda Dream. We've been struggling with engine oil leaks and constant breakdowns pretty much for the last 6 months. Ever since the engine blew up in Ayutthaya, Thani, every mechanic in Thailand has patched her good enough to get her to the next town, and she seems to break down every 200-300 kilometers, and it's caused by the fact that she's 27 years old, she's driving around Thailand every day, and I'm riding the crap out of her, and she has a systemic oil leak, and no mechanic has been able to figure out the issue, and it's getting to the point where it's affecting my mental health. I'm saying goodbye to Dreamy. She's going to stay here for the next 2 weeks, and she's going to be getting a full engine rebuild. They've just taken a good look at Dreamy, and they just, it's like meeting the creator of the universe, meeting God himself. This man, Jack, he knows everything about Honda Dreams, or seemingly so. He's just dissected her, and he's told me all of the issues, all of the reasons why that she never got fixed. And he's promised me that he's going to restore her back to her original glory days. So let's meet Jack and let's have a walk around this amazing shop. Okay, so this is Jack, and Jack owns, it's SMS, what's the full name again?
It's SMS Sakol Motorsports.
Now this man might be responsible for not only saving Dreamy, but saving the channel. So no pressure. We've put Dreamy up, he's inspected the engine, and to say he knows a lot about Hondas and engines is an understatement. I want to show you quickly around this shop because it is paradise for people who want to fix, restore old banged up motorbikes. Now, do you just do Honda or do you do all types?
We actually do all types of motorcycle.
Vespa,
Yamaha, Kawasaki, Honda, every type.
But what's your favorite?
Honda, actually.
Yes. Well, let's just start with Dreamy because you've inspected her quickly.
Yeah.
And I've told you about how every mechanic has tried to fix it and failed.
Yeah.
Can you explain to me the culture of Thai mechanics and why you think it just never got fixed?
So basically, they will do only what necessary to do and solve that problem only what is
that day.
That day, yes.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, well, I'll fix it, you'll get to the next town.
Yeah.
So what do you think is the main problem? Why is the oil leaking? Why does the engine always seize up? Is it just because she's old, or, you know, I've shown you the parts we've already replaced on this trip, and yet it's still happening.
So basically, if you're let me explain it in an easy way, right?
Okay.
So for the bike engine, we have divided into 2 main sectors.
Oh yeah, let's have a look at that old bike. You can explain it better.
Okay. Basically, you can divide it into 2 sections here. This is the top section. We call it Sonbon in Thailand. It's called headed top, right? This is the middle one, the middle type, and this is transmission right here. When you fill up the oil is going to be around this place here.
Yeah, so they fix this part, but the oil leak starts here.
Yes, so it's nothing, you know, really linked it together. So when we do fix it, we fix this part, but we don't fix this one. We fix this, but if you want to fix this one, you need to fix this and this together.
The solution is, Jack has told me, and so has Dana recommended me, and so many people in the comments said, just get the engine rebuilt or restored.
Sure.
And I can't do that in the provinces because I only have a few days.
Yeah.
And then I have to go to the next town. But now that I have my Christmas break, you can restore, we're going to restore the full engine.
Yep, we will.
It's going to be expensive, but it's going to be worth it, and fingers crossed. Now, let's have a look in the back of the shop because you'll see like how they go about restoring bikes because they're currently restoring some already. Now, we're not going to restore the full bike because you're never going to guess how much it costs to do that. I'll tell you in a minute. We're just doing the engine. So this is something that's getting restored right now, right?
This is Honda as well. It's called Honda Dash.
This is the old manual.
Yeah, it's the old manual.
I have the old manual for my Dream.
Yeah, this is the old manual. It used to be, at that time there's no, you know, computer and stuff like that. Some parts need to be ordered, you know,
Japan.
from Japan. Yes, and we do that.
So over
well.
at the back here you have examples.
Okay,
right?
let's see. It's kidding. And so this is all the you know stuff we took off, and
So all of these boxes are the old parts of this bike.
Yes.
And then you've got, some of them have been cleaned.
yeah, this one already cleaned it. Look.
And some of the parts you've ordered from Japan.
Yeah.
And
sure.
like from like big pieces to tiny pieces, right?
Yeah.
Because these old bikes were made in Japan, not like the ones that are made in Thailand now.
Look.
Can you get, yeah, just like this,
Yeah.
like this part here from Japan, just for that one little ring.
Look.
What's
Oh,
this?
sorry.
Is that kickstand?
Yeah. Kickstand. This is the middle scan for the wheels.
Right, okay.
Spring, even spring. Look.
Even the original spring.
Yes.
So the kickstand, made in Japan,
Yes.
ordered from Japan.
Yes.
And this stuff isn't cheap.
No.
So somebody comes into the shop and says, here's my old Honda,
Okay.
full restore.
Okay.
How long and how much, roughly?
Roughly 6 months should be 5 to 6 months, and
Get ready for this.
cost for 100,000 baht at least.
Now bear in mind, I bought Honda Dreamy. I bought my Dreamy for 5,000 baht. And it's gonna cost, if I want to, restore her fully back to pristine,
Yes.
100,000 baht. Now, if you want to see an example of a fully restored bike, he has one. Let's go check it out.
Okay, let's see.
You will not believe the bike I'm about to show you is almost as old as Dreamy.
So basically, this is the Honda Vape, ages 20 years ago, approximately. So basically, this is the model after Dreamy.
Yeah, so my bike was built in 1994.
Yeah, this one gonna be 1998, 1999.
Now have a look at this bike. This bike looks like it's in the shop for sale, like brand new. Like, I'll do some close-ups for you. The
Okay.
engine parts and the wheels. And it looks brand new. It looks like it's just come out of the shop.
Look inside. We share the new tank as well.
And all of this,
Yep, new, brand new.
and all of the engine completely
New,
rebuilt.
yes,
And
everything.
what? Have a look at the mileage. Ready?
Mileage, got this one.
80 kilometers.
Yes.
And it's 20 something years old. And I said to Jack, I said, why would someone spend 100,000 baht to restore a 10,000 baht motorcycle? And you had a good story. It's just like people like me and customers,
Yeah.
like this person and the other bikes that are here, they have a connection with the bike. It might have been their first bike
Yeah.
from childhood or when they were a teenager, or a bike. Like, what's your story with this one?
For this one, when I was like maybe 15 or 14 back in 20 years ago, I don't have money to buy, right? I've got only money to buy for the bicycle. So I really want this one, but I don't have it. So by the time it's passed that, I've been, you know, collecting money, keep money for myself. So I think one day, yes, I will have this one. But, you know, today we couldn't, you know, buy the new one because it's back in 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's an antique piece now,
Yeah.
and they're highly collectible, made in Japan.
Yeah.
They're made in Thailand nowadays.
Yeah.
And they're just not the same.
Yeah, it's
The
not.
Dreamy and this Honda Wave, you get on them, they just feel so different.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, I know Dreamy's a piece of shit, but if you ride her, you'll fall in love with her in a
Yeah,
minute.
yeah, yeah.
And so, yeah, you get older, you make some money, you start a business, and then you want to restore the first thing you had. It's like nostalgic. Now, I can't afford 100,000 baht full restoration, but we're just going to do the engine,
Yeah.
which is going to cost around 15,000
Approximately,
approximately. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a bit less, depending on how difficult the process is to find the parts. But how much of the parts are going to be import from Japan, and how many parts can you find already, do you think?
I think maybe 20% need to be imported. However, if we couldn't, you know, import it because we have like a specific of time to do it,
Yeah.
we will compare it, some of the spare part with some bike in Thailand to see if it matches.
Yeah. So they can find original pieces, and then they can use the machine, the vapor blaster.
Yeah.
Like, he just showed me how it works. They get an old engine from an old Honda, similar model or the same model. They get the piece that they need. They blast it with the incredibly powerful water, and it comes out brand new. It's incredible, right?
Yeah.
So thanks, Jack, for showing us around.
No worries.
And I'm going to leave Dreamy with Jack for the next 10 days. I'm going to have my week off in Bangkok. I'm going to go to Pai for New Year's, and then I'm going to come back and pick her up. And fingers crossed, the engine is brand new, the oil leak is gone, and Dreamy can live again.
Sure.
And we can finish the provinces together. So thank you, Jack.
Okay, Sawadee krap.
Sawadee krap.
Right.
Originally, I wasn't going to drive all the way to Bangkok, but yesterday when I was in Korat, we spent all morning again getting it fixed, and there was a new part, and it seemed to be like, oh, this is going to be the thing that fixes the oil leak, and it worked for about 100 kilometers, and then I pulled in to get fuel, and half of my oil was already gone. And I just thought, you know what, I'm going to take advice from Dana. Dana, you know him from the beginning of the journey. He's a friend of the channel, and he told me, dude, there's a place near my house in Bangkok. They restore engines, they restore bikes. They will fix Dreamy back to good. You know, it'll be expensive, but it'll get her back to her glory days, and you won't have to worry about constant breakdowns, and you can enjoy the trip. And I said, you know what, you're right. And because I have a little bit of a break now, I'm taking 10 days to 2 weeks off. It's Christmas, it's New Year's. I'm going to be spending time in Bangkok with friends. I'm going to go to Pai for New Year's. And it's the perfect window to give it to Jack, to give it to SMS, and get her engine restored. Fingers crossed it's worth it, and fingers crossed that these guys do what they're paid to do, which is restore bikes so that their loving owners can enjoy them again. So see you in the next video. Pray for Dreamy.